Welcome back to another episode of Global Card Collectors. Today we have our quarterly installment of the GOAT of Global Card Collectors, Jamie UK Collector, with us once again. How are you, Jamie?
Yeah, all good. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, he's you really are a quarterly appearance on the show. So glad to have you back. And we always, it's always kind of around something interesting and global that you are doing in the soccer card hobby. So want to have you on. You just got back from well, let's start first. Where'd you go first?
Firstly, I was in California for the Burbank Card Show that was in Ontario, which is, I want to say like northeast of LA. I could be completely wrong.
I think yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean, yeah, and they have an airport right there. But I did you fly to
Yeah,
LAX
but
or?
I was already in America, so I flew from the East Coast to LAX, and I stayed with my friend Miles at AFC Guna for a night,
Yeah.
and then he drove up with me to Ontario, and I stayed up there for a few nights for the show, and I managed to get half a table with a friend who just had space there. And yeah, it was a pretty good show. Not as much soccer as I expected, but I think there was enough.
What
I
what
don't really know how to
yeah,
to
what was the
quantify
ratio?
it, but I was really expecting it to be a much heavier soccer show from what I'd heard of previous Burbank shows. And then kind of walked around, and there were very limited cards that I was interested in, or even in general for soccer.
So maybe what, 20% of the show was soccer, 10%?
Not even, definitely not even 20%, maybe 5 to 10% at a push. Majority being NBA, baseball, American football, as you'd expect with an American show. But still, I did expect a little bit more. But the sales and the purchases were still very good. Maybe because there were less people there who knew soccer, that gave me and my friend more of an opportunity to buy and sell.
Okay. So you made some deals and happy
Yeah,
with yeah.
sold a couple, one or two bigger cards from my collection that I actually, one of them that I will really miss being Select Gold Messi out of 10 from 2015. And then I also bought a couple cards for my PC, like a Saka Indelible Ink Canva is from Impeccable 2020, which is obviously his first on-card auto, rookie
Cool.
auto.
Right, right. Um, well,
But
the
yeah,
Messi
and
that
then
Messi's a big card.
yeah, the Messi was Messi I bought a few years ago, and then Jesse from Acquire had a buyer for it, so I let him have a go at selling it, and yeah, that's now gone, I guess. I won't see that one again. And
Yeah.
then after that, from Burbank, I did a short pit stop in Vegas on the way back from my friend's bachelor party. Came back from Vegas, which was my first time and a pretty good time, despite the gambling losses. And then a few days back, and then went to Dublin, which was honestly one of the best European one-day shows I've ever done. Like the venue is absolutely superb. It's a convention hall in the center of Dublin, and stayed right around the corner with Gus, Grails by Gus. And yeah, it was a really good show. Lots of absolutely packed, I will say. Like I think this year they told me they had around 3,200 tickets sold total, compared to last year, which was only 1,200 tickets sold. And when you consider this, that was in the same venue as last year, the amount you could really tell with the crowds.
That's crazy. And that's organized by the Soccer Cards United guys, right? And
Enzo and Jason and team, I would say. And they also had an amazing trade night on the Friday night where they rented out. Well, I want to say they rented out, but I don't know what they did. They had some kind of arrangement where they had the whole bottom floor of like a really nice pub in central Dublin, and it was completely private. So it was just like 50 to 100 people who are coming to the convention next day, meeting up in a pub, doing trades, having a few drinks,
Oh, that
a few
fresh
breaks for
Guinness,
10 minutes.
right?
Yeah, people were having their Guinness. I'm not a huge Guinness fan, but
I love it.
um, fair enough. But yeah, so that was a really good trade night on the Friday night, and then the show again, excellent show. And honestly, I have nothing bad to say about that. And now we're back in London and getting ready for Berlin this weekend.
How many
Which
days is that?
Berlin's only a 1 day show, so I'll fly that for that one. I'm actually flying in on the Friday afternoon and flying back on the Saturday night,
Okay.
straight after the show, much like what you're doing for Dusseldorf.
Yeah, the incursion. Yes.
Yeah, it's actually fairly easy when you consider. I'm guessing for you, Germany is like an hour flight,
It's like
2 hour
because
flight.
it's Western Germany. It's like almost 3 hours, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, Berlin's like a 2 hour flight, and Dusseldorf is only like an hour flight. So it's so easy to do those day trips. I mean, I've done a few of those day trips when I've been visiting B Brother store,
Yep.
in just outside of Dusseldorf, and I've actually flown in on like a Tuesday morning at like 8 a.m. and landed at 11 because of the time difference, or 10 because of the time difference. Then flown back out at like 8 p.m. the same day, and then landed at 8 p.m. because the time difference.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like
Still enjoy your
so
evening if you.
like a day trip to Germany or a 2 day trip to Germany is so doable.
Yeah, I mean, living in Istanbul, like I'd say the two things I love most about it are one, I don't have to follow my own country's politics very closely. Like I could just ignore it completely if I
Yeah.
want, which is just really, good for my
Why is
mental
that?
health.
It's less, is it less
What?
relevant in world politics, or is it because it's
Yeah, I mean, you're just not around people on the left and right making stupid arguments all the time and
because
conspiracy
it's not like
theories.
so bipolar?
It's so bipolar and I mean you see like television screens in the airport or it's just you're just around it and
Okay.
listening to Americans talk about politics. They didn't even care about politics until 10 years ago or
Yeah.
something, so it's like I'm just it's a really nice time to be out of the country in that regard.
No,
um,
I know America right now is a very politically divided place.
yeah,
It's everyone.
it's interesting times. And then the second reason though is the trips to Europe. I mean it's just so easy from here.
Yeah.
Weekends are
Yeah.
simple.
I
um,
was saying even I'm thinking of coming to Istanbul for the trade night. It's going to
Yeah, we're gonna have a trade day, and it's gonna be extremely like you're not gonna find anything you want. We'll
no,
have
it'll
to
be
do a
fun.
deal, but yeah, um, yeah. I mean,
It's a cool place in itself. Like it's a good holiday destination, so I might as well make a few days of it.
that's the point, man. I mean, and you can do a week. I mean, there's just so much you can do in Turkey. Like again, an hour flight, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
Like we'll talk.
literally
If,
fly
yeah,
there, return for under $100. So,
do
no
it.
brainer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, come back in the fall. We'll have or the. I think there's going to be a bigger show in the fall, is what I hear.
Oh,
We're not organizing that, but there was one last fall that was solid, and I expect this one to be even bigger. So
when you're saying fall, you're saying like September, October, November, or
yeah,
I just gotta hope it doesn't clash with the Macau stuff, you know? If
well,
Macau
maybe
nice.
maybe stop through. We'll see. Yeah,
Yeah, on the way that would be perfect. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know the date yet. I
yeah,
think it's still yeah.
that's
So
exciting.
I always have the Dublin show. That's great. I mean I kind of listen to them. I was listening to them a long time. When I got when I got into it, and I guess I
They have a
haven't
good
been
one.
recently, but I hear them on Sports Card Nonsense sometimes.
Okay.
That podcast, and so I'm glad to hear the show has grown so much. Like that's awesome.
So so smooth, such a great venue. Everyone had a good time. Had a good ratio of like adults, kids, like people from all ages, all genders. Mostly sport, which is really nice to see in Europe because you do get Pokemon heavy shows. So I would say it was like 30 to 40% Pokemon, 40% soccer, 30 to 40% soccer, and then the rest, like a mix of everything. But I would say last year's Dublin show had a higher proportion of Pokemon than this year's Dublin show, if I had to guess. But then again, I was behind the table the whole day, so it might have just been my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone does that. Pokemon's just exploding these days. So
Pokemon is just absolutely massive. Like you can't deny it. It's the biggest. It's the biggest money spent. It's the most cards graded. It's the most transactions. The biggest audience. Pokemon is on a tear right now.
it's ridiculous. Well, I might have to make it to the Dublin card show then in the future. What would you say the ratio there was? I mean, soccer is probably dominant, right?
Soccer was the biggest sport, I
Yeah,
think, which is again, you don't even see that. I mean, you do see that. You only really see that in the UK and Dublin, because you don't even see. I wouldn't even say you see that in Germany because it's like quite an even balance between basketball and soccer there.
okay. Paris. Have you
I
been to that
actually
show?
have never done Paris. Never, never done it.
Yeah,
I know. What am I doing?
seriously. I
I
mean,
think it's coming up though. I have a feeling it's coming up. They usually do like an early summer show.
yeah, maybe even May. I looked at it this year. I couldn't go for some reason. Yeah,
I know there's Milan, like I was saying, 2nd or 3rd of May, and maybe Paris is the week after or 2 weeks after.
something like that.
I don't,
So Burbank and Dublin, Messi or Ronaldo?
I mean, it's
Oh, I
not
know the
really.
answer in Burbank, but yeah.
Oh, it's messy, messy everywhere, I'd say. I actually
Okay.
probably no, I did sell just about more messy in Dublin just because of one card, but it was I did sell more Ronaldo in Dublin than I did in Burbank. That's how anti they're so pro Messi in Burbank that they might even be anti Ronaldo.
Uh, yeah, that jives with what I kind of yeah
Yeah, it's
sense from
like
the Americans.
people almost too scared to buy Ronaldo because they're so keen on Messi and they don't want to like push Ronaldo's market.
Yeah, where I mean, I really feel like it's a West East thing with with Messi and Ronaldo because you were telling me in Macau. I mean, you know,
Yeah, in China you can buy Messi cards for similar prices that you can buy Ronaldo cards.
yeah,
Whereas in America, you're paying 2 to 3, even to 4x on
yeah.
certain cards of Ronaldo than you are Messi. Like consider how much Messi Mayo Cracks PSA 10 would go for, like 350 to 400K right now, compared to a Ronaldo PSA 10, which I have no doubt would do under 150K. I have
I
no
mean,
doubt, probably under 100K.
last year one sold. Has anyone sold since? I know one sold for like 60 or 70 last year.
I don't know if anyone sold since, to be fair. There might have been a
Yeah.
BGS 9 for around 18 to 20, a BGS 9.5 for 18 to 21. When you consider a BGS 9.5, Messi would do like 60 right now. It's
The spread is crazy.
BGS is also not having a good time right now. And
No.
FGC as we about earlier.
Yeah, it's just the PSA empire now, man.
PSA
We're
on their way. Said
yeah.
it a few times on the podcast, I think.
I mean, I always kind of like, it's PSA like USA. It's
Yeah.
they're not dumb. Like, yeah, it's good marketing.
They're the best at marketing. They have the best staff. I mean, they know what they're doing.
I've made this point
Even if,
before.
even even if their grading has changed and been inconsistent, people are even if it is, and I can't confirm whether it is or isn't, so I don't know the facts, but even if it is, they're still on a tear. You can't deny that they're the best in the industry right now. There's just no way.
Yeah, the marketing is just insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think everyone has noticed that they're getting worse grades over, maybe since 3 years ago or something like that.
Oh, compared to like 2017, 2018, 100%. I would say right now's era reminds me of like when they were being really strict, like towards the end of COVID, because all the base card prices were rising, and they knew by giving like PSA 10 on the base card, they were potentially giving them 3K to someone.
Right.
So they're in that like hard. They kind of go through. I want to say they kind of go through waves, and
Yeah,
they're in kind of their harsh wave again. Maybe.
yeah. I know they got kind of backed up again this
Yeah,
spring.
I noticed that. I submitted an order at Burbank, and it still hasn't been. I submitted in person at Burbank. It still hasn't been received. That's
Nice.
3.5 weeks ago now. Submitting in
That's
person. I thought that the whole point of me submitting in person was going to be
yeah, and
okay,
uh,
system quit.
like a month or so ago, they just kind of revealed that, or they just changed the grading standards for the PSA 10, right? You must have heard about this,
Yeah, of course.
the centering. Yeah, so but no one cares. We go, you know. Yeah.
Also, I feel like maybe PSA centering was probably their most relaxed policy before for PSA 10s. Like the fact you could have a 65-35 and still get a PSA 10. And now they've actually, maybe it's the right correction to have.
It is.
Like I wouldn't want a PSA 10 that looks off center. That's just not a PSA 10 to me.
Yeah, there was the Wembanyama Black
I
Shimmer
mean,
one of
yeah,
one. You saw that, right?
conveniently after that though. Conveniently after that.
I mean, you're right. Get that one in, and yeah, that was just gross. I mean, I wouldn't even, like, yeah, I'd like please regrade this and give it an 8. Like, yeah.
Yes. What have you been sending out cards? A lot of cards at the moment? Or
Yeah, I mean, I've just been consolidating a lot, in the last year or something. I showed you that Modric card, that gold 16 insert, and I bought I showed you offline, but I'll share with the audience here as well. Where I lost it now. Anyway, I got a 2002 Mega Cracks.
show it on the screen after. You can put it onto the screen right here.
Yeah, Will, right? Yeah. Will does that so easily. It's the same card as Ronaldo's rookie, so it like I don't have it in hand, but yeah, that was a fun pickup. He played, I root for Beşiktaş here, so he was my favorite player at Beşiktaş. So I have nostalgia for him. I actually also have a gold 2017 museum, Topps museum of him.
How
Uh,
wicked.
Serial number to his jersey, 7 out of 50. So I have a great
Oh, nice.
plasma.
Just the
Yeah,
jersey number. Actually, I was like, what's so special about that? But then you're like, okay, the jersey number.
yeah, yeah. But otherwise, man, yeah. I mean, so I kind of wanted to have you on because I really, I've been not buying and selling. I'd say all the things I've sold are like slight losses, some gains on some. I sold kind of my set of 2017 Topps Chrome. What's the insert? I was doing the golds
Award winners.
award winners, yes. And some of
You would do.
the Messi and
I
the
actually have a
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. I actually have a Ronaldo now.
Nice,
In my
nice.
inventory. Yeah.
Um, don't I got hammered on that what I paid for it. But
What
but
grade
the
was
some
that?
what's that?
What grade were the Messi and the Ronaldos, or did you not have them?
Nines.
Nines, fair.
Yeah. So but it's all just to get the funds that I want to use towards something else and kind of doing this like I'm into this basketball set right now. But in Dusseldorf I'll
Actually,
do
gonna ask
some
you,
what's that?
I was actually going to ask you whether you were building like a new PC because obviously you've kind of done the Modric thing. You're almost like completed it. Like what's next? But you said there's some kind of possible set.
Yeah, I mean, like kind of as after I did the Modric collecting, kind of towards the end, I found the Grail. So then it just kind of like makes all this, 20 plus Modric cards slabbed and stuff. Like I've moved so much of it since basically.
Yeah, it's like once you've got those like couple of key pieces, you're like, do I really need these? I don't want to say shitters, but
Yeah, it's like dating, man. I mean, you find something better. I don't know, like
maybe.
yeah, that's why. It was a nice experience. I enjoyed it.
Except in dating, I don't think you're meant to have the good one while you have the old one at the same time. I think you're meant to move on from the old one to find the new one.
It's the only place we can be polygamous, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Um, yeah.
So, basketball, what were you saying about that?
Oh, basketball. I don't know. Yeah, I've talked about it. I'll
Okay.
go. Yeah, it's basically these on-card autos of European or international basketball greats. It's called International Treasures. They have it in 2022 National
Is
Treasures.
What is
Yeah.
it? Oh, you're talking about national treasures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Um, so obviously no UK guys that
I'm
are.
trying to think who's in that set. That is it like Dunkirk in that set, or is
I only like a couple years. I'll show you my best when I'm coming. So this is the Jokic
oh,
2017.
that's sick. That's sick. Yeah, that's nice.
It's out of
It's
25.
in one of those. Is that a China? Is that the China grading slab?
Yeah, do you recognize it?
Yeah, I do. They're so hard to crack.
I don't want to crack it. It does look hard.
Don't crack it. Honestly, they're so hard to crack. I've had a couple friends who have owned a couple cards they wanted to cross the PSA, and I know one person who damaged like one of their cards really badly by cracking it.
Okay, good to know that. Yeah, I
But
won't.
if you do crack it, then just make sure you do it under a cloth. Get the hammer out. Get the pliers out. Make sure you have all the tools. But there's no need to crack it in a 9.5 anyway. But why was the auto a 9? I noticed the auto was a 9 there. I didn't
It's a
really see anything.
slight like it's a little smudged
I kind
at
of see
the
it. I kind of see it. Yeah.
yeah, like here.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it on the corner. Yeah.
Um
Cool
and
card though. Really good card.
I want the 2015 as his rookie.
Yeah, I'm
Um
guessing.
yeah, one sold I won't say actually, but I know someone who got one for a high price. So I was kind of it's funny I actually want to find it in Dusseldorf, but
You know,
it's a dealer in Dusseldorf or in Germany who bought it. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna find it there.
fair enough.
And then I also picked up a huge card. I just can't operate my phone these days, but
Basketball stuff is also so much more. That type of on card Jokic autograph is also very liquid if you ever want to move it. So you won't
I,
have any problem there.
I will move that if I get the 2015, for
Yeah.
sure. And then this is a huge card I bought recently. Do you know this guy?
Oh yeah, of course I know Giannis. Yeah, wow, that's big. What's the grade? Sorry,
It's an
eight. Oh,
8.
that's
He's
pretty good. Eight's pretty good on those thick cards. That's
it's
really
out
sick.
out of 60. Do you notice the
That must be one of your bigger. That must be one of your bigger cards, right?
yeah, these are my two most expensive cards. Yeah.
Yeah, the Giannis
Um,
is a big. I know that.
so I'm like set with Giannis. So I really like the flag sets, the
Yeah,
Encarados, like I really like them. So there's a Tony Parker ending in 2 days that I already got a bid
mainly on like
snipe bid in.
card hobby
That's on
mainly.
eBay.
Oh, eBay. Wow. Okay. I
Yeah,
just thought maybe those older basketball sets. Oh, actually, it's not that old, but those basketball sets. I'm guessing you might have got the Jokic from Card Hobby with that slab, but I don't know.
I bought it on eBay, and it was like I found the auction with like 3 minutes left randomly, and it was during the day, and I just hammered it, and
Yeah, because obviously it's going to be like during the morning our time because that's China time in the evening. Was it from China or was it not even from China?
it was being sold in China.
Okay,
And I think the slab threw people. I don't know. It was the best, probably the best thing
definitely
I ever
scares
won.
people.
What's that?
Yeah, definitely scares those slabs definitely scare people.
Because you
Like
can't crack them, or
not really because of that because you can crack them if you're good at it and you really want to. But I just think people don't really know how they cross over grade wise, and just the fact there's the extra cost for all these repackers or buyers or resellers to cross over.
yeah. I mean, the dealer said it was a reputable company. I mean, do you have any?
Yeah, no, but they are very reputable in terms of Asian presence.
Okay.
Like I know of them like fairly well. I would actually prefer them over. I don't want to like be rude, but I prefer them over most of the UK based like alternatives and maybe a couple of the German based alternatives. Not any of the ones that are from US brought to the UK. Well, maybe I'd pick them over SGC. I don't know, but
Interesting. I mean,
they probably grade harsher than SGC or grade better than SGC.
yeah, that's good to know. I mean, I might send it with you to Macau, see if you can move
Yeah,
it there if I get the
that's cool.
2015.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, That's good to know. So yeah, I've been kind of going that direction.
And
Yeah,
that's good. Basketball is good to diverse into those type of on card national treasures autographs as well. Although I actually don't know much about the Giannis market at the moment. I know Jokic market is really, really strong though.
it's frothy right now. I'm I kind of regret not. I should have bought more, but I have this and one other card, and I'm kind
That's
of
always
just.
the way. It's always the way. When the market's strong, you wish you bought more. When the market's weak, you regret buying.
So what? Always be buying, always be selling. Is that the approach, or?
I mean, I think that's the wise thing to do. Although I'm not really. I wish I was concentrated and focused enough to do it. I think always buy cards for the right price is my motto. Always buy the right cards for the right price. But then, what is the right card? I don't know. But the right price is under market value, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of conversations about, in basketball or football, particularly American football, but about what sets are going to be kind of next, right? I mean, I think we're all kind of
I think
wondering
it's
that.
fairly like decided that Prism is just like in terms of non-autograph sets. First, the early years of Prism are just going to be like almost uncatchable unless we're talking like exquisite upper deck for basketball and all that kind of early stuff. Like Prism, early Prism, and early Flawless is just probably uncatchable. Right?
Yeah, and 2017 Topps Chrome is probably another tier
2017
down.
Chrome in terms of tops products, I don't think any other tops products will ever catch 2017 Chrome. I don't even think Dynasty. I mean, considering the cost price of Dynasty as well, like 2017 Chrome is ahead of Dynasty because when it was released, it was $90 a box, and you only got two or three parallels in a box. Whereas in Dynasty, you're buying one card for 1.5K, and you're like, there's I don't know, it's just Chrome in terms of like hobby following 2017 Chrome, it won't be beaten by any tops product.
I had noticed a gold Ronaldo 2014 being auctioned, I
I
think.
think there's one on Fanatics. I want
Yeah.
to say Fanatics Premium Auction or Premier Auction right now. I think the last time it sold, I want to say it did like publicly, it did like around 60K when it sold a couple years ago, and there was a couple private sales which I know of, which I don't want to like speculate on the price, but I have a good
Yeah.
idea, and I
Yeah.
do think it should do over that. I want to say it should do over that 60K mark, or maybe around that 60K mark. But Ronaldo's just not Messi, so who knows?
I know. Yeah, I mean,
Messi Gold right now, PSA 10 Messi Gold in 2014 right now, I think would have a chance at would have a chance at beating that record set back in 2020 or 2021 of like 545K.
that's when it last sold.
That's when the last PSA 10 sold. I want to say a PSA 9 did like between 100 and 150 or 150 and 160. I think a PSA 10 would do over 500, probably below 700. But I don't know
Yeah.
where in that region.
The one of ones, have they been seen?
The one of one Messi base, I don't believe it's been seen. The auto, the one of one Messi auto has transacted privately in the past 6 months, to my knowledge,
Okay.
for a very strong number. And the one of one matchups I haven't seen since 2014.
That would probably be the no, I guess the Messi would be
No,
higher.
the Messi base would
Yeah.
be, and then the matchups I think would be second, then the auto would probably be third.
Okay. I would obviously go matchups, but yeah.
Yeah, market would because Ronaldo. I think
Yeah.
I would probably go matchups as well for my PC.
Yeah. Uh,
But in terms of what I don't own, if I'd rather be selling it, it'd be the base.
2014 Prism taking money out of it. What do you think is the best looking parallel in 2014 Prism?
It depends on the player.
Good answer. Yeah.
It depends on the player. So a lot of people love the Messi Blues, even though they're out of 199. They love the Messi Blues. But are they the best looking? I don't know. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be super biased, so I don't want to say my opinion because I have, in my opinion, the best looking. And
The yeah, I green. Yeah.
wait, what? Yeah, yeah.
What? Blue?
I
What? Green?
obviously I can't say what I think is best looking, but
I mean, it's your
I also,
profile.
in
It's your
my opinion, I
profile
also
picture, man.
sorry.
It's your profile picture. Like,
I know, so it's really biased for me to say that's the one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
couple of reds. That's definitely not the best looking. The reds are probably the worst looking. Actually, not the worst. That's mean. I actually really I don't want to say what I don't like as well because that will really upset people as well. So
I mean,
but you
the
know,
green.
I love hobby pooled parallels. That's what I'm gonna say. And I don't like ones that were probably put in like packs that were released for promo.
The you're talking
So
about
there are
the
so there are two. There's one that I can obviously say is the ugliest looking numbered parallel, and that is the Father's Day.
yeah.
Because even though it's out of seven, it's basically a base card with limited edition printed on the front.
Agreed. I
So anyone can like you can say that without having any bias. It's basically a base card with a number, but it's out of seven, so I still like one. Don't get me wrong. I'd still absolutely love to have one.
yeah. There's a price you
And I
would
have been
do.
looking at one online for a while. I've been like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's close. Like people clearly understand eye appeal matters because I've seen online an out of seven that's been like, okay, it's not, it's like a really not a great looking card, but and the condition is probably worse than the grade, but it's not right price, you know.
I mean, I do think
And
green. Yeah. I mean, green crystals is the most like iconic parallel, I think, because it's so unique
well,
and it's
back in
yeah.
2014, 2015, there were just so many collectors of that parallel as well.
Really.
There just used to be people who were like who would just like buy those of any player, and then but that was before people understood the relevance of goals and power goals in like these how important they are in terms of like hobby legacy.
Yeah, I mean,
Um, and purple, obviously, like you said, is a very nice one, but it would be very biased for me again to say it's the best one because I have a 10 of the Messi and a 9-5 of the Ronaldo. So that's again probably not the right one for me to say. But if you're talking about affordable and best looking for Messi, you've just got to go with the blue out of 199 because I mean, it's what like 3K for a PSA 9, maybe 3.5 for a PSA 9, 11K for a PSA 10, which is kind of crazy for an out of 199. But when you consider how iconic and low pop it is, maybe it isn't. But the blue is probably the most iconic just in terms of what everyday collectors can own. The gold would be so awesome to own, but I'm I'm
yeah, like
out of that now.
Jokic and Luka Doncic both have a out of 199 blue.
Yeah,
Jokic is like light blue, and it the match is so perfect, and they go for way higher than like out of 99s,
yeah,
and
yeah. So the blue goes for higher than the red, even though
yeah.
blue's are 199, the red 149. I think a blue PSA 9 does, I want to say, like I said, like 3.2-ish
Mhm.
of Messi, and a red PSA 9 of Messi does 1.8. So it's a huge difference,
That's wow. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
almost
Um,
double. That
yeah,
just shows eye appeal does matter.
yeah, yeah. I do think purples are
Gorgeous.
fabulous. Yeah. I mean, I did the whole USA team in purple.
Honestly, they honestly
Um,
probably have like the best like refract. I don't want to say like the best refract. You know, I can't even put it into words.
yeah, it's amazing.
It looks
Beautiful card.
great, even in
Yeah.
that horrible tuxedo.
You want me to put this in a I actually wish I had never graded any of these. Yeah, just crack them out. I have the whole set.
I feel
Um,
like even like obviously CGC are a bit in the mud at the moment with their Pokemon, but I feel like even CGC, because of how like clear their slabs are, they look better in the tuxedo.
uh, these are yeah, I like
Don't
SGC.
get me wrong. I
Yeah.
don't
No, no,
I don't like
it's fine.
you know what they do, which really annoys me though.
Yeah.
Look on the back of your Tim Howards.
Yeah.
Are the white corners on the top really visible?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like on the top. I
They
mean,
make the whiting super visible in that black slab.
huh, good point. Um, yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't even know that I had whitening because it was a 9.5. But I just know in that black slab you'll be able to see some kind of
Oh yeah, this would definitely be
contrast.
PSA 9 at best. Um,
Yeah. And that's
yeah.
the issue. That's the issue between the grading companies.
Yeah. This
Well,
is
that's why.
PC for me.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
did,
it's
yeah.
really cool cards.
Yeah. And then here's my other big one is, I mean, the color match on this red, white, blue plaid. I mean, you could kind of dual color match with Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful, beautiful parallel.
That's probably the best that's the best non-numbered
Yeah.
inserts of the matchups in terms of look in terms of eye appeal. So I have the red, white, yellow pulsar in the PSA 10, and it's nice to have. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not the best looking.
Yeah.
And I think one sold on Golden fairly recently for like 2,600 ish, and it was like an increase of like 300 or 400 from the last sale, but it's still like I think if it was a red, white, blue plaid, it would probably do close to 3, 3.5,
That was
just
PSA
because the
10.
yeah, that was PSA 10.
Okay. Yeah, that jives. Yeah, that makes sense. Um,
Yeah, but it's great cards. I love those matchups.
Anything else you want to share with the audience
I'm
before I
sure there
let you
was something
go?
I wanted to ask you, but it's just skipped my mind, like in the last couple minutes. Um, but no, apart from that, I'll try and think of it for the next episode, I guess.
Um, yeah, I mean, the market I feel like is soccer. It's healthy. I mean, I'm noticing basketball is
Very
healthy.
healthy. Oh yeah, so in terms of Messi, obviously high end Messi, it moves so easily. High end Messi, high end Ronaldo is a bit harder, but high end is definitely far easier to move in comparison to what it was before compared to the low ends. Like it used to be a lot easier to move the low ends, like 100 to 300 stuff, and right now it's like the easiest thing to move is like the 1K plus Messi and Ronaldo stuff in PSA slabs by far.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, that jives. That jives. I had to move my Ronaldo sticker rookie, and I actually made a couple hundred on it. I had bought it.
What grade was that again? It was a
It was a 7.
nice,
Um, yeah,
cool one.
yeah. I did. I mean,
How come how come you moved that?
I needed
Did
the
you buy
funds to
the
get
new cards?
the Giannis, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a cool one though.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'll miss it. It's not going to be easy to get it back too. So, but we still
I'm
have
sure
our
you will.
fives.
It's not impossible to replace those grades either.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't. Do you think more of those will come out?
Well, I
It's a
wouldn't
tough
touch.
one.
We're talking about the football one, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So obviously BGS, you want
Nope.
that's like the one. That's like the first sticker you want to avoid. Like if you're talking BGS fake stickers, like that is like the prime one because you've also got not just fakes, but you've also got a lot of trimmed ones which made it into BGS slabs. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to find people who want to sell them in PSA slabs because like they've kind of found their way into like good hands. I want to say.
Hmm.
Like, you don't really see that as many flippers with those types of stickers because they were too scared to touch them for a while. So you don't. So in terms of flippers, which is how cards tend to move, like I don't know. I think you will find them. You won't pay less than market. Like you always
No.
pay whatever the market is for those because there'll always be like a decent demand.
Yeah. I told you I've not been into. I haven't bought much, but I'm kind of getting the bug for Ronaldo again. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of picking up nice Ronaldo, you can't really go wrong. He's always going to be one of the greatest. No matter what his market does, he's still in the conversation.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, Jamie,
And
I'll let
then
you go. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say, in terms of, I guess I'll see you in Dusseldorf.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope there's a few people who come to that one. I think that'll be a really good show. So
I mean, every European collector I've talked to either wants to go or is going.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good show. I really hope people make it
Yeah,
out with good other good stuff. So
yeah. Germany in the summer, beer gardens and cards.
yeah,
What can go wrong?
sun and cards can't go wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks so much for jumping on again, man. Always, it's always a pleasure. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, I guess.
Have a good
Wait.
one.